Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Wrestling Unlimited as it is Saturday, December 28th, 2024, and tonight was AEW Worlds End. Thought overall, pretty good show. It wasn't one of the better, so I'm going to be the outlier here because I've seen people on Twitter going, oh my God, great show, crazy show, blah, 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 blah. I thought it was a good show, like a really good show. I don't know if I would call it great because we had, I'll just say right now, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay is my match of the night. Freaking Renee Paquette over here going, she literally, I'm not lying. Renee Paquette, they were talking about the international title match, Takeshita and Hobbs. She goes, can we say that was the match of the night? I said, what? Renee thought that Takeshita and Hobbs was match of the night. Crowd was dead for most of that match. Granted, they just saw a bunch of really good matches and they're maybe taking a little break, but still, no. Like the main event, another Jon Moxley main event that bored the shit out of me. I will say that 100%. Another Jon Moxley main event that bored the shit out of me. Like, it did nothing for me. Nothing at all. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to load up the Wikipedia to get the match times. There we go. Did it give me the main event yet? There we go. Okay. For some reason, it wasn't loading up. I'm like, we've been done for 34 minutes. Come on. Where's that main event time? Anyways. Yeah. These Moxley main events. First, we had the Orange Cassidy one at Full Gear. Now we got the 4-way here. They bore the shit out of me. We had a cool moment at the end of the show with Rated FTR, I guess you want to, what they're going by now. That was really cool. And we got the announcement that it will be Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on Adam Copeland and FTR, Rated FTR, this Wednesday in Asheville. That's awesome. But it's like, the match, the main event, for me, it sucked. Because it was just Death Riders getting involved. Hey, Marina took a Blade Runner. That shocked me. But for the most part, that main event, I didn't like it at all. Let me turn this fan on. Let's get a little warm in here. And then it was like the Ricochet Swerve stuff. Could have done without and saved 10 minutes. Why do we need that? Why did we need that? And then I also saw people saying that Ricochet Okada match wasn't pay-per-view worthy. Didn't live up to AEW pay-per-view standards, which I thought it was like better than a Dynamite match, but I could see it being on the lower end of AEW pay-per-view matches. And you could say, well, Okada was just saving himself for the second match because he had to go 2, which he did in 1, we'll get into. And like just thinking about the rest of the card here, Mariah May and Thunder Rosa, I did not care about that match at all. They were doing all these things. They were fighting all over, and I never got into it. Never once did I get in to Mariah May and Thunder Rosa. It did nothing for me. Nothing at all. Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander, really good match. A lot of people saying it was better than the first one. I would think it's about equal. Because I wouldn't say, I can't say that I liked this one better, but I can't say that I liked it less. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't like it more than the first one, but it was like, I still really enjoyed it. So it's like, you can either say it was just right under or about equal. I saw a lot of people going, oh, it's better than the first one, better than the first one. It's like, I don't know about that. And it could have also been the reason I didn't think it was better is because going into it, I didn't care. Again, that's my theme here. A lot of this stuff, I don't care because they don't make us care. Why did Chris Statlander, I should say, get another shot at the TBS title? When she's had 2 matches since Full Gear. Yes, she won both of those matches, but against who? Pull up her cage match here really fast because one girl, I don't even know who she is. So, I mean, she defeated Penelope Ford. I can't speak right now. But it was like the other match she defeated like something Tootie or something like that. Like, I don't even know who the person is. It was... Come on. She defeated Tootie Lynn. Who the fuck is Tootie Lynn? On a Collision. Yeah, I never even seen this person. Tootie Lynn. Never even seen this person. Didn't watch that episode of Collision. So it's like, cool. She got 2 wins. But why is she getting a title shot again already? The next pay-per-view when there's others that could get the title shot. We could argue the same with Thunder Rosa. Since August, Thunder Rosa has had 2 victories, both against Harley Cameron. And one was basically a comedy match against Harley Graham. Yet, she's getting a world title match on this show. That's why I didn't care at all for the Thunder Rosa Mariah May match. Because it's just going into it, I'm like, there's no reason for this match. Why is Thunder Rosa getting a title shot? And then to just throw it all out there, why is it a street fight? Because they can. You build to the stip. You do the first match where a weapon gets used or is almost used or is implemented somehow to where you go, oh, you want to use weapons? How about next time we make them legal? Well, there was no next time because this was the first time. This was the first time. And what did they do when they first told us that Thunder Rosa was getting the title shot? She sat in the front row during Thunder Rosa and Mariah May holding up cue cards that said different things that made her look like the biggest fucking geek. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, a good show. Really, really, really good show. Might be able to call it great. This is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to care what I say. My opinion. Just like Dave Meltzer goes out there and says he likes this, doesn't like that. Sean Ross Sapp goes out and says, I like this, didn't like that. Mike Johnson says, I like this, didn't like that. You don't have to agree with everybody's opinion. But the other thing is, don't crap on somebody's opinion. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying, hey, don't crap on my opinion. You can crap my opinion. I don't, whatever. But I've been getting really annoyed recently, and now I'm kind of ranting on things to where it's like people can't have their own opinion anymore, especially in the wrestling space with Twitter and threads and so forth. You go out there and you say, I liked this. I thought this was good. And then someone will come at you and go, no, you only liked it because it was from WWE. It sucked. And then I go, oh, I didn't like this. Oh, well, that was great. You can't say that. Well, like, yeah. It's getting worse and worse to where it's like I don't even want to be on Twitter and all that, but I got it for work stuff to promote the content and this and that. And it's just like, I don't know. Because it's becoming too much like high school with your cliques and your people that want to be the cool kids. Oh, I'm at the top of the class. I'm the quarterback, the most popular guy here. And I can say whatever I want because I'm at the top and no one can push me down. And I got the influence that if you want to talk shit to me, I'll just screw you. You know what I mean? Trust me. It's almost happened to me once or twice where it was like, if I didn't conform to what one person, I'm not going to name names. If I didn't conform to what one person thought, said, and did, I was going to be on the outs. And then I was going to be not blackballed per se, but it was more of a, going to tell their people why listen to that guy kind of thing. But that's the story for another time. Got a lot to talk about here with this show. We had 11 matches. I didn't get notes for the first 3 of the pre-show matches. I watched them, but I didn't get notes for them. They were just so-so, and I was making dinner for me and my kids at that time. We had smash burgers and tater tots. Really, really cool. Just homemade smash burgers. So that was good. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Kid Vicious, what kind of question is that? That's a personal question. What does that matter? I mean, yes, but what the hell does that even matter? Why do you need to know that? You don't know my living situation. You don't need to know my living situation for me or my family. You don't need to know who lives in this house. Just saying. That's a little, no. Especially asking about someone's kids. You can fuck off with that one. But if you want to help us out, you can help us out over on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, if you want to help and support the channel in another way, you can hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you got a lot of cool perks coming your way. You got emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat in the comments. We've got some watch-alongs coming in January. We've got some exclusive early access videos coming in January, some early review stuff, retro stuff. I got some plans that I'm working on starting up at the new year. And you can do that either on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, hit the join button, or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And also remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. The Epic Game Store, has a lot of cool games and great games on sale right now. Alan Wake 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, and so many more. Marked at like ridiculous prices. Alan Wake 2, 50% off. Grand Theft Auto 5, 50% off. We also got some cool new stuff in Fortnite. We've got Samurai, Darth Vader, and Stormtrooper. We've also got some Ninja Knight Batman skins for Batman and for Harley Quinn. So if you're going to buy those skins, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. But with all of that, as far as the show does go, again, we had the 0 hour. I watched it, but I didn't take notes. We know that in a 6.5, almost 7-minute match, Toni Storm did defeat Layla Gray. The rookie Toni Storm. Get me started on this. Toni Storm's amazing. Great. She's killing the character, but the character just doesn't do it for me. Like, I'm on both sides here where it's like, man, Toni Storm should be really an actress. She should be out here making goddamn movies. She should be in the next Zendaya movie, next Tom Holland movie, put her in a movie with Brad Pitt, because she's killing this. I didn't like the timeless Toni Storm gimmick. Didn't do it for me. But I thought the character she was portraying, she did a good job. Now, I don't know if you put her in an actual movie, if she's going to be great. We will see her in that Queen of the Ring movie coming up. So, see the Mildred Burke movie, I think is who it's about. She's going to be in that movie. I don't know if she's got any lines. She will be wrestling in the movie. So, we'll see. We'll see how she does in that movie, but Toni Storm can play a character pretty damn well, which to me goes, let's see her in some movies. Put her in a TV show, Warner Brothers Discovery. But she did defeat Layla Gray in a 6-minute, that's almost 7-minute match. Jeff Jarrett defeated QT Marshall, who's still doing the dome stuff, which makes me think, oh, these Costco guys coming back for QT? They already beat him once. And then we also had an 8-man tag where Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and the Murder Machines, Lance Archer and Brian Cage, did defeat the team of the Outrunners and Top Flight. And then I think, no, it was later. It was later. The Jeff Jarrett thing, we'll just get to it now. Jeff Jarrett was with his guys. They were interviewed by Renee. I think it was Renee. Maybe it was Lexi. I don't remember exactly. But he said that he's got some sort of an announcement regarding his future he's going to be making this Wednesday on Dynamite. They are dubbing it as Jeff Jarrett makes an announcement regarding his future at Fight for the Fallen. So we'll see what that leads to. What the announcement is. Is he retiring? Is he done? He whispered something to Sanjay, and Sanjay was pissed and then said, we need to call Karen. And yeah, so we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see what happens. But yeah, very, very, very interesting things here with Jeff Jarrett. I like Jeff Jarrett. When everyone's always like, screw Jeff Jarrett, fuck Jeff. I love Jeff Jarrett in TNA. Like, there was a point where I watched more TNA than WWE, like 2004 to 2007. Christian was one of my favorite things going in wrestling, and Jeff Jarrett. When he had that group with America's Most Wanted and Gail Kim, I loved it. I loved it. Jeff Jarrett, NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. But anyways, as far as the main card does go, it did kick off with the 2 Continental Classic matches because, well, they had to get those matches out of the way so then those guys can catch their breath and get ready for their other match later in the night. The first one, 16 minutes and 20 seconds. It was Will Ospreay defeating Kyle Fletcher in an absolute banger. Banger, banger, banger. Like, this match was awesome. They started things off just going crazy fast. They fire off a wild series of counters. So much that I couldn't take notes because there's just move after move after move, counter to counter to counter to move to the counter to counter to move to the counter. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. At one point, both start trading hard chops. I think Fletcher even took a chop to the throat. Maybe it was Ospreay. Maybe it was both of them. I just remember one grabbed their throat after a couple chops. Also, if you guys are watching on Twitch, is it running fine? Because Twitch is showing me that it keeps buffering. But YouTube's running fine. So just double checking there. Anyways, where was I? Fletcher sidestepped a dive at one point, but Ospreay landed on the apron and hit a perfect somersault plancha. Fletcher caught a Hurricane Rana and planted Ospreay with the powerbomb on the apron before lawn-donning Ospreay into the barricade. Fletcher ripped up. So this was great. I don't know if this was a plant or not, but this fan's got a sign that says Ospreay is better. And Fletcher grabs it, rips the sign up, whatever. Guy pulls out another sign and it says Ospreay's still better. What? Had to have been a plant, I would think. If it's not, what the hell, guy? What the hell, guy? Ospreay overcomes a couple big moves, and then all of a sudden, he's just Crimson Mask, John Cena JBL, Triple H WrestleMania 20. Like, holy crap. So, Ospreay's bleeding. Quad kicks from Fletcher. They look even more gnarly due to the white boots with blood on them now. Fletcher wiped the blood off of his kick pads and licked it, and I'm like, don't do that, don't do that. And the crowd starts chanting, you sick fuck, you sick fuck, you sick fuck. Ospreay then tried to fight back, but again, Fletcher lawn darted him into the corner. Second turnbuckle pad for a 2. Ospreay bleeding like crazy here. Fletcher was taking his time. Took a little too long, and Ospreay exploded up with a lariat. Starting to build momentum here, Ospreay is. Ospreay hit a big boot and a standing sky twister press for a 2. There's a stun dog millionaire that connected, but as Ospreay signaled for the Os cutter, Fletcher hit the half and half suplex. Fletcher delayed too long as Ospreay fired off a Spanish fly. Kawada kicks from Ospreay. Ugh. You ever got that where like you feel like you're gonna sneeze, but you know you don't have to sneeze, or it's like you got a tingle at the very tip of your nose, where it's like, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Anyways. Quad kicks from Ospreay, and he dares Fletcher to get up and fight him. Fletcher's kind of out of it at this point, tired and whatnot, but they both start trading loud chops. Fletcher tried a thrust kick, which Ospreay caught. A hook kick. Both fly out of powerbomb attempts, and then Ospreay hit the Os cutter for a 2. Great little sequence here. Fletcher then counted a hidden blade into a lariat for his own, but as he went for the finish, Ospreay managed to poison Rana. Before Fletcher collapsed, he threw a desperation hidden blade into a double down spot. Both start trading big headbutts until Fletcher flew for a headbutt, only to be super kicked out of midair. Fletcher tried a schoolboy and started like trying to cheat in different ways. Put his feet on the ropes, grabbed the ropes, handful of tights. Referee kept catching him. Fletcher then shoved referee Paul Turner, who shoved back. He shoved him into an Ospreay hidden blade for a 2. Fletcher then pulled Turner into Ospreay, allowing him to hit a charging boot and a brainbuster for a close near fall. There's an elevated Liger bomb at one point that connected, but again, Ospreay kicked out. Ospreay then ate another corner kick to the back of the head as Fletcher followed up with the proper one before trying a brainbuster, which Ospreay popped right out of with the snap Hurricane Rana. He held on, hit the Styles Clash, and picked up the victory to advance to the finals of the Continental Classic. Great match, and I'm sitting here going, oh my God, how is anybody going to follow this thing? Nobody's going to be able to follow this. And really, I feel like the only thing that followed it, the only thing that was as close, the only thing that was close was the other Ospreay match, the one with Okada. Okada actually showed out. Okada, and they talked about this on the pre-show, but I don't want to say Okada's been lazy since coming to AEW, but we haven't gotten big match Okada yet. We hadn't gotten world champion Okada, G1 winning Okada until the finals tonight. So that was really good. Also, we got a couple bit donations here from Esports Gaming Rules. Thank you for that. He says, wow, Adam Edge Copeland and FTR forming a stable in AEW. That means no Shane McMahon in AEW. Talk about a major what if for AEW in 2024. I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And he says, what were AEW's plans for Shane McMahon if they did really King? So I actually heard some stuff about this recently. Dave Meltzer actually talked about this recently. People within AEW are under the assumption that Shane never wanted to come to AEW. That Shane used it as a tactic to maybe try to get back into WWE. Shane used it to draw up some buzz and get his name out there. That's what people are under the assumption of as of now. That if WWE thought Shane could go over there, they'd open up the arms and say, no, you want to be back in wrestling? Come home. Come here. And neither happened. So I don't know what's going on with Shane. But that is the assumption of some that I've heard of. And Dave Meltzer actually spoke about this too. He feels like the whole thing was just Shane trying to get his name out there to create buzz and enough buzz for WWE to want him back. I don't even know if there ever were any solid plans. I had heard at one point maybe he does something with Moxley, but that was all hearsay and more of, hey, here's what we think could happen. Moxley's being very secretive. Maybe that's why he's so secretive, because it's Shane. But it was more of just rumors and speculation than anything anyone actually knew. I don't think there really ever was a solid plan for Shane. We do know that Shane and Tony Khan had a meeting. They met at some Dallas airport, little rink-dank airport. But other than that, I think it was more of just, we're in the same area. How about we meet? We've never met before. We meet, get to know each other a little bit. I think that's all it was. But yeah, some are under the assumption that Shane only did it to try and draw up some buzz and get back in with WWE, I guess you could say. Just think about it. We hadn't seen him since Mania before when he tore his quad or whatever. Moving forward, we have another Continental Classic semifinal match. It was Kazuchika Okada against Ricochet. You could tell in this match, in Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, it was, we're going to go out there and we're going to have a banger. I don't care. Will's basically like, I don't care. I got to go do a second match. Screw it. This match, you could tell it was Okada and Ricochet going to have their, or Okada and Ricochet are going to go out there and have a good match, but Okada is not going to do a match that is going to blow him up for his other match. He's going to do a match to where he's still good to go, no matter what, for his other match. So, the big story of this match was, well, the crowd hates Ricochet now. Ricochet plays it up a lot. Almost to the point where you could say that's why he lost, because he was too focused on the crowd and not Okada. Kyle Lally was behind Okada. At one point, they even chanted, na, 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 hey, 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 you're bald. Yeah, I ain't lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Again, na, 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 hey, 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 you're bald. At Ricochet. There were some other bald chants as well. But, yeah. Crazy. Anyways. So the two are going at it. Ricochet got the early advantage, but Okada does get away from it. Ricochet fires off a series of a fast offense, but opted to mock the crowd at one point, allowing Okada to slide back and get a big boot. Okada did a hilarious misdirect spot where Ricochet was preparing for a strike, but once he lowered his guard, he was paintbrushed, which popped the crowd. Ricochet then trapped Okada's leg and pulled him into the ropes, crotching him, allowing for a tope to be hit as Ricochet again started trash-talking the crowd. He then hit a springboard lariat. Ricochet at one point did slow down the pace, keeping Okada grounded. Okada started to no-sell some of Ricochet's moves, and Ricochet did a wall walk, but then ran right into a flapjack to kind of reset the match. Okada at one point spiked Ricochet with a DDT and got a 2 off of it. Ricochet answered back with a lion salt and a running shooting star press for a near fall. Ricochet wanted to go up top, but rolled through a 450 as Okada hit an air raid crash neckbreaker to gain control. There was a top rope elbow that connected as Okada did the Rainmaker flip-off pose, where Ricochet spun out of a ripcord into I think they call it the Benadriller, what they called it, but Okada did block it. After a series of counters, Okada fired off his drop kick. He wanted a tombstone, and Ricochet countered into a scary-looking vertigo for a 2. Coming down towards the end of the match, Okada went for a corner charge, but hit a pump knee. Ricochet went for a spirit gun, but Okada ducked, hit an Emerald Flosion, and then a picture-perfect Rainmaker that turned Ricochet inside out and got Okada the victory. 1, 2, 3. Okada will now face Will Ospreay in the finals. Then we got the stuff with Swerve. The Swerve's music hits. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve comes out and he's like, hey, Ricochet, what did I tell you? If you don't win, I'm going to humiliate you. Prince Nana then comes out with a wagon full of toilet paper. Like, what are we doing? And Prince Nana walks down to the ring, and he's going around ringside, throwing toilet paper, and going, don't do it yet. You'll get the signal. He's just throwing toilet paper at people in the first couple rows. And he's just yelling, don't throw it yet. Wait for the signal. You'll know when it comes. Just wait. Just wait. And so Ricochet's just standing in the ring. He's got the old mean guy face. Right? He's got the mean guy face. And where was I? Swerve says he's going to be a man of his word. Ricochet blew it. He's going to make him feel it. All Ricochet has done since coming to AEW as well, run his mouth. Ricochet talks a lot of mess, so Strickland is here to clean up his mess. Prince Nana, again, like I said, struts out with the toilet paper. Strickland said that they want to help Ricochet have a clean slate for the next year. Strickland counts down and says, Happy New Year, Trevor, as Ricochet is pelted with toilet paper from the crowd, and he is furious. Again, doing the mean guy face. But this heel Ricochet, I'm kind of liking it. He's getting very annoying on social media, but on TV, I'm liking the heel Ricochet. I will say that. Now, Esports Gaming Rules, another bit donation says, I got a feeling Shane returns on the first Raw on Netflix. Remember, Shane was in Vince McMahon documentary. And a lot of people were in the Vince documentary. You think Hogan's going to be on that first Raw too? You think Taker's going to be on that first Raw? I mean, there's maybe a chance Taker's there. I don't think Hogan's going to be there or on the show. But Hogan was in the doc, so what does that mean? Just because Shane was in the Vince doc means nothing. That Vince doc had been in the works for years. They've been working on that since like 2020. So that means nothing. Heck, you want to go that route? We think Vince is going to be there because Vince was in the Vince doc. Just saying. We go backstage. Renee Paquette, she interviews a bloody Will Ospreay. Bloody Will Ospreay is being checked on by the doctors. When Renee Paquette approached, he said that, he's wrestled Okada about 10 times and lost 8 of them. So asked the crowd. The crowd will be behind you or Okada. He smacks himself in the head and says that he's been hit by a truck, it feels like. But after he beats Okada, He's going to Disney World. And said, in the immortal words of Tony Khan, let's fucking go, lads. I'm like, when the hell Tony Khan ever say that? When did Tony Khan say that? Huh? I don't know. Must be one of those pre-show, post-show, I'm going to talk to the crowd things that Tony does. So. We then had the match that I cared the least about of anything on this show. Ryan and Thunder Rosa made a Tijuana street fight that still didn't pique my interest. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a great match. It was just a match, if I'm going to be honest. So they come down to the ring. Ryan May's making her entrance. She's walking around the ring. She goes over and starts talking shit to Thunder Rosa's dad. So Thunder Rosa just attacks. Rosa dove off the apron onto May to start the match. There was a sliding lariat back inside the ring and a senton. They got it early too. May swept out the legs and pounced, but missed a shotgun dropkick, allowing Rosa to hit an uppercut to the spine. But it didn't get enough of a follow-up, and then she had a follow-up dropkick and got it too. Rosa then threw weapons into the ring. It took way too long. Like, I don't even know why she was taking so long. So May crawled up the ramp and hit a DDT for it too. May had a bottle of tequila, took a swig, and missed it Rosa, who stumbled to her feet and tackled May through a table set up against the entrance tunnel. Nigel McGuinness on commentary said that May was just filling her opponent with spirit, which is a great line because you get it. You know, tequila is a spirit shooting. Anyways. Rosa hesitated at one point though, allowing May to chug a trash can at her, causing Rosa to tumble down the ramp. And then Thunder Rosa, God bless her soul, just keeps on rolling. And you could tell that she's rolling herself and rolling herself and rolling herself down until she falls off the side of the ramp. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? May approaches her, waffles her with a trash can, waffles her with a bottle. She gets 2 off of it. Back in the ring, Rosa grabbed a piñata that she brought to the ring and dumped out some thumbtacks. She went for the Fire Thunder driver. May was able to escape, hit the Mayday on the tacks, and both ladies go to the floor. May then sent Rosa into the steps before knocking Rosa's father, knocking his hat off of him and stealing his cane. May then wrapped barbed wire around her leg and charged at Thunder Rosa, who moved, and May crashed and burned. Rosa grabbed the cane, but barely tapped May with it, like literally the weakest. Like we thought those Nia Jax chair shots in War Games were bad. This was just as bad. They're just the weakest shots. Thunder Rosa then set up a table, launching off of it with a drop kick. Despite being able to do pin attempts on the floor, Rosa threw May back inside the ring and then went for the near fall. To come towards the end of the match, Rosa wrapped a chain around May's throat and choked away at her, but let it go in order to set up a chair. Rosa again, when she choked May with the chain, May reached into the bag Rosa had brought into the ring and threw dirt at her. Yes, they said dirt from a real Tijuana gravesite. Threw the dirt right in Thunder Rosa's eyes. They spill onto the apron. May hits the Storm Zero on the apron through a table. It's kind of like it's a Storm Zero, a pile driver, whatever you want to call it. And then pins her on the outside. 1, 2, 3. Picks up the victory. So it's like, it wasn't a bad match, but I could never get into it because the match itself just made no sense. Why are we doing this match? What has Thunder Rosa really done to deserve it? And why does it need to be a street fight? That was my whole thing. Esports Gaming Rules with another bit donation. He says, Monet may keep her AEW TBS Championship, but I predict she loses her NJPW Strong Women's Championship at Wrestle Dynasty into Tokyo Dome because Monet will, quote, not be the female Kenny Omega. I mean, you could have that opinion. You could have that prediction. But here's my question. Are both titles on the line? I think both titles might be on the line. That's the thing. Go Wrestle Dynasty. Pull up the card for Wrestle Dynasty. I want to say both the TBS title and the NJPW Strong Women's. No, It's the NJPW Strong Women's and the British Women's title. According to, let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let me pull this up from New Japan, because that was Wikipedia, and Wikipedia sometimes is right, sometimes is wrong. So let me pull this up here from, okay, yes. So it is the Strong Women's title and the British Women's Championship. So there is a chance Mina Shirakawa could win this. I'm trying to think. Does Mercedes really take her first loss other than the Willow match because of the injury? That's a tough one. But you might be right, Esports Gaming Rules. I think with the TBS title not being on the line, I think that opens it up for Mina to get the win. I really do. I think that opens it up for Mina Shirakawa to pick up that victory. So then we had MJF versus Adam Cole. Another match that I didn't really care for, but I like both guys, so I'm like, yeah, I can get into this. But the storyline just didn't do it for me. And I know a lot of people are going, oh, well, they had to pivot and they had to do something different, and this isn't the original plan. I didn't like the original plan either. I didn't like Adam Cole being the devil and all that stuff. So, yeah. But these two did work a really good match together, and I thought it was good. Not great, but good. Matt Bennett and Mike Bennett and Matt Taven are shown at ringside. They say they are protecting the diamond ring so it doesn't get used. Bell sounds, and MJF immediately took a powder. Cole was right there to go after him with the pump kick. Cole wanted the Panama Sunrise. Again, MJF bailed, only to pull Cole face first into the steps. Crowd chanted, quote, "He's our scumbag. He's our scumbag." But MJF yelled back and said if he needed their help, he'd ask. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, what the hell? Why is Adam Cole bleeding all of a sudden? Like, out of nowhere, Adam Cole's just bleeding. So MJF does push-ups in the ring. He pounces at Cole, fighting at the forehead, trying to get him to bleed more. Hitting a powerbomb onto the knee. Gets 2. MJF then mocked going for a Panama Sunrise of his own, but then got super kicked out of midair. Cole fires up and hit a backstabber and a brainbuster right on the knee for a 2. David and Bennett then cheered Cole on as he went for the Panama Sunrise again, but MJF sidestepped and Cole came up limping. MJF chop blocked him. MJF then zoned in on the previously injured ankle as a corner whip resulted in Cole collapsing. MJF posted the leg before trash talking Thunder Rosa's father at ringside. I'm like, why are you fucking talking to Thunder Rosa's dad? What's that to do with anything? Called him Yosemite Sam. I'm like, okay. MJF then opted to do the Fargo strut. That resulted in Cole pulling his leg and posting MJF, busting him open as well. Back in the ring, Cole fired back up with some punches and bunches before hitting a Panama Sunrise and the boom for a 2. Cole went for the boom again, but MJF crumbled. As Cole trash talked MJF, MJF dove for the chop block and regained control. Both started to struggle to get to their feet at one point as MJF screamed, "I never cared about you." Cole then fires off a super kick. MJF swept the leg and got the figure 4 in. Cole flipped MJF off and rolled over, causing now the pressure to be on MJF. MJF gets to the ropes and he's got to break it. After the ref checked on Cole, MJF went for the ring, but there's Taven and Bennett standing in the way. So, and this is good on MJF. Ref, what the fuck? So, MJF's on the outside. He looks at Taven and Bennett. They won't let him get to the ring, so he slams his hands down on the ring steps, right? And he falls down. And he's kind of like wobbly or whatever. And he's like, they hit me, or whatever, to the referee. And the ref's like, what? And you hear commentary go, ref, don't do it. You didn't see it. You can't do it. You two are out of here. And just like the ref saying it, or the commentary saying it, it's like, wait, ref. You didn't see them attack MJF, so how can you kick them out? It's like those times when it's go, I didn't see the tag, so you're not the legal man. Well, Again, it's referee discretion, but still, yeah, kind of crap. Anyways, MJF grabs the ring. MJF charges at Cole, who hit a super kick, put the ring on himself. Cole went to use it, but MJF hit a low blow and a heat seeker to pick up the victory. There we go. MJF actually didn't even cheat. Didn't use the ring. Tried to use the ring, but didn't actually use the ring and still beat Adam Cole. Yeah, he hit the low blow, but it's like, okay, he beat Adam Cole. But what do they got to do? They got to have Cole look strong with all of his buddies coming out to help afterwards. Like, I don't know about that one. Post-match, MJF grabs a chair and he's jaw-jacking to the crowd. He's like, cut my music. And he's got no microphone, but he's screaming, I want all of you to see me break his fucking leg. And so he's about to Pillmanize the leg. He puts the chair over it. He's ready to stomp on it, and some music hits. And I go, Wardlow? This would be the perfect time to bring back Wardlow. No, it's just Roderick Strong. So I guess his arm's healed. Remember, MJF broke his arm. And so Roddy comes down, hits the ring. MJF bails. He's backing up the ramp. He's like, you think you got me, but you didn't really get me. Music hits again. I go, Wardlow? Perfect time to bring back what? No, it's Kyle freaking Riley. He looks at MJF, and MJF's like, hey, Kyle, cool. I'm going to leave. And as he turns around to go walk off, Kyle Riley grabs him and throws him down to the ring, throws him in the ring. Now they do the high-low, Cole and O'Reilly to MJF. They then hug it out or whatever. And yeah. They do the high-low, they like do the high-low deal. And then Strong and O'Reilly grab MJF. Adam's got the ring. He pops MJF with the ring, and then they all hug. David and Bennett, and they come back down. They all hug. They stand tall. Undisputed Kingdom in the ring together. Cool. To me, this actually killed Adam Cole. Because it's like Adam Cole couldn't get the job done the first time to get the original match with MJF. Then Adam Cole barely beats Kyle O'Reilly to get the match with MJF. And then what happens? Oh, MJF beats him. MJF, yes, he hit the low blow, but he didn't even need the damn diamond ring. He didn't even need the ring to cheat. Again, yeah, he hit the low blow, but it's like, whatever. But I feel like this did Adam Cole no favors. And I know what people are going to say, but Adam Cole stood tall at the end. Yeah, with 4 other guys. You know how strong this kind of made MJF look, where it took all these guys to take him out? Like, come on. I don't know. Adam Cole's one of my favorite guys in all wrestling. But, and I get it, his AEW run has been mirrored with a litany of injuries, concussions and the ankle and all that stuff. And so it's like, yeah, his AEW run has not been that great due to all the injuries. But I still think NXT Adam Cole is one of the best wrestlers, gimmicks, characters of like the last, 8 years. I thought Adam Cole with the Undisputed Era in NXT was the best thing going in all of professional wrestling at one point. They were why I watched NXT. They were why I never missed an episode. They were why I was there for every takeover watching on Peacock. And I'm like, oh my God, these guys are going to take over the main roster. And then Vince saw nothing in Adam Cole, and I said, fuck. Budge. I'm going to say it right now. If Adam Cole was in WWE right now with Triple H in control, he'd be right there at the top of Monday Night Raw with Gunther and Damian Priest, having matches with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, killing it with Drew McIntyre. Adam Cole would be a top guy in this company. I feel like Adam Cole would fit in so perfectly with that Raw roster that they have right now. Like, it's insane how well I feel like Adam Cole would fit in with the current Raw roster. Crazy. It's crazy. Especially if it was Undisputed. He doesn't need Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era was a freaking fantastic group. But just that Adam Cole, that heel Adam Cole, that cocky Adam Cole, that's like, I'm better than you, and I'm better than everybody and no one can stop me, Adam Cole, would be so good on the main roster with this current Raw roster. Him and Braun Breaker fighting for that Intercontinental title. Come on. 2026, 2027 can't come any sooner for this guy to leave freaking AEW. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he'd want to go back to WWE. I don't know if they would want him back. I assume Triple H might. Because when you think about it, it's like, when Triple H is running NXT, who did he push harder than Adam Cole? Maybe a Ciampa Gargano kind of group, DIY, and then Ciampa. It's like the other one, and I'm not even going to get into this one. Samoa frickin' Joe needs to leave AEW because Triple H, we know what Triple H thinks of Samoa Joe. He thinks the world of Samoa Joe. To have Vince release Samoa Joe in April for Triple H to go, this guy's coming back and I'm bringing him 2 months later back to NXT. We didn't see that with anybody. We didn't see Vince release anybody and less than 2 months later, Triple H go, fuck you, I'm bringing this guy back. So, like, that's another one. If Joe can come back to WWE under Triple H, run WWE, oh my God, would this be amazing? Like, just think about it. But Joe should be back in AEW soon, I assume. Stuff for Twisted Metal is over. I know he's doing some promotional stuff for the Yakuza game he's in, but I don't know if he's doing anything more than like just promoting it online or what. I don't know. But I know he's got the Yakuza game coming out that he's in. Haven't heard if they're going to do, they probably will eventually, but I don't know when they're going to do, if they need to do reshoots for Twisted Metal Season 2. We know that wrapped up like a month or two ago. So I can't wait because Samoa Joe was amazing in that show with just his body language, just sweet tooth. Like, oh my God. Don't even get me started on that. But anyways, International Championship. Someone turned the crowd off during this match. Like legit. There were pockets, major pockets and portions of this match where literally the crowd didn't make a peep. They were sleeping. They were that quiet. To the point where it's like none of them were even snoring. They were that quiet. Anyways. Callis was on commentary for this one. We immediately get meat chants. Meat from the crowd as the two guys start slugging it out. And I go, we think of Takeshita as one of these big meaty men? I've never thought of Takeshita as a big meaty man, but okay, cool, whatever. Neither budge on an initial shoulder block. And then Hobbs launches Takeshita to the floor with one. Hobbs told Callis to watch as he does what he does next to Takeshita. One point in this match, Callis even goes, Hobbs is pretty great, but he's not as good as Takeshita. So it's like, oh, he's giving him props. Well, that's good. Anyways, at one point, Takeshita did counter Hobbs. Takeshita then slams Hobbs on the apron. Takeshita then went to the eyes, got the fireman's carry on a drop, and dropped Hobbs on a surgically repaired knee. They played the knee up a couple of times in this match. Takeshita really zoned in on it. Hobbs wanted a suplex from the apron onto the outside. Takeshita reversed it and suplexed Hobbs back into the ring. Hobbs was able to run through a lariat attempt and hit a crossbody. At one point, both men are down, and they slowly were getting to their feet. Again, there was a slow rise. They start trading clotheslines with neither going down. So Takeshita opts for a stalling German suplex. Hobbs blocks the power drive knee and then hits a wild forearm. Takeshita then charged but ran right into a snap power slam as both went for a home run shot with Hobbs hitting first and turning Takeshita inside out with a lariat. Gets two off of it. One point there was a blue thunder bomb from Takeshita, but Hobbs got kicked out at one, which got Don Callis jumping out of his seat, going, "What? Excuse me?" I'm like, oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hobbs then hit another wild lariat for a two. Both slowly to move for a minute, where Takeshita gets cut off, or no, cuts him off and hits a superplex. Both then fell onto the apron, and Hobbs clutched the knee, going for that superplex. There was a "please be careful, please be careful" chant, and I'm like, oh my God. They think they botched it. I don't know if they botched it and Hobbs slid off, but whatever they did, they sold it good, making it seem like the knee gave out. Where am I here? At one point, Takeshita then goes for a power drive knee, only for goddamn Hobbs to pick him up as high as he can and boom, slam him down with a huge spine buster. He lowers the straps. He's ready to deliver some pain. Takeshita rolls to the apron. He climbed the ropes again, and Takeshita raked the eyes, wanting to go for an avalanche lariat, but Hobbs hit an avalanche power slam instead for a double down. Hobbs then took off his knee brace, but that only gave time for Takeshita to recover, hit the wind-up forearm, pump knee, guillotine, and a raging fire to pick up the victory. So there we go. Konosuke Takeshita is still the international champion. Omega gets backstage with Okada. She says, you know, you and Ospreay got a lot of history. He said you're kind of like a mentor to him. And Okada was like, Will is like younger brother, but I'm on another level. He's not on Okada's level, bitch. Eastwards Gaming Rules with another bit donation. He says, double title match for AEW International and Never Openweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. Correct. Wait. Yes. Wrestle Kingdom. I keep getting the lineups for Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty mixed up. And then maybe Wrestle Dynasty. Well, so here's what's going on with this. Let me pull up the Wrestle Kingdom. Let me pull up the two cards really fast. So at Wrestle Kingdom, where's the card? Wrestle Dynasty. Want the Wrestle Kingdom card? No, that's not it. Here we go. Wrestle Kingdom 19. So Takeshita, Shingo and Takeshita with the open weight, the Never Openweight Championship and the International Championship on the line. But then the next night, the winner of that match will then defend both titles against Ishii. I feel like Takeshita beats Shingo, which that match, oh my God, I can't wait. Shingo and Takeshita. And then Takeshita fights Ishii. That I'm not as sold on who wins. Because I think it can go either way with as much as we see Ishii show up in AEW. So it's like, I can kind of see Ishii win. But it's probably going to end up Takeshita. If I had to pick. Because, let's see. Oh, wait, nope. Ishii beats Takeshita because only the Never Openweight Championship is on the line at Wrestle Dynasty. So, both titles are on the line at Wrestle Kingdom, but only the Never belt at Wrestle Dynasty. So, yeah, Ishii probably wins that then. Moving forward, we have Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander with the TBS Championship on the line. Again, really good match. About equal to just slightly, for me, slightly under the first match. But again, I never fully cared about this match because why is Statlander just getting another shot? She beat some Tootie Girl and Penelope Ford. Statlander showed her power early on, but Monet used her speed to counter things. Now, early on in this match, the crowd was kind of dead. But as they got going and going and going, about 3/4 into this match, they had that crowd rocking. So, just like their first match, crowd started off really dead, really kind of okay. And by the end, they had them going. So, that's really good that these two are so good together that they can get these crowds going. So, where was I? Statlander was ready for a Hurricane Rana and a cartwheel out. He got face-to-face at one point, and Monet pie-faced Statlander, centered to the floor, and hit a drop kick through the ropes. Monet hit a running knee against the barricade, then tried to go for a crossbody off of it, but Statlander grabbed her, did the Bianca spot where she's like holding her up, and she's walking with her, the Bianca Belair thing, up the steps, right? Bianca holds him in the gorilla press, like walks up the steps and throws him in the ring. Statlander held her kind of like in like a power slam kind of position, walked up the steps and then slammed her down on the apron. So kind of similar to what Bianca Belair does. Which actually I think Bianca's spot is more impressive because she's holding them up, like up above her head instead of on the shoulder and just walking with them. But Statlander did do it from like the opposite side. I think when we've seen Bianca do it, it's kind of just from right there and she just goes up the steps really quick. So either way. Where was I? Monet gets slammed on the apron. Back inside the ring, Monet picked up the pace, hit a Hurricane Rana, and tried to go for a pin, but only got a 2 off of it. Statlander was right there with the power slam, held on, and hit a backbreaker for good measure. Both ladies took time fighting up the ropes until Monet slid out and hit a powerbomb on the apron. Monet remained in control, hitting the running double knees in the corner for a 2. Statlander exploded out of the corner and hit a good clothesline, but Monet floated over into a backstabber for a near fall. After another backstabber from Monet, who held on into a submission, Statlander used her strength to power out. Statlander maintained wrist control, hit a series of clotheslines, and a charging corner knee that led to a chaos theory for a 2. Monet then escaped an Oklahoma Stampede, but Statlander did connect with a spinning sit-out power slam for a near fall. Monet was then placed in the corner, where she was blocked with a corner charge with a flashy tornado spin and DDT. Got 2 off of it. There was the Amigos, the 3 Amigos. Crowd was really behind Mercedes at this point. Monet then went up to the top and hit a frog splash. Statlander kicked out. Both ladies then traded a series of backslides until Statlander hit the perfect package pile driver, but only got a 2 off of it. The two keep fighting back and forth, hitting all kinds of big moves, German suplexes, jawbreakers, slaps, hits, chops, and whatnot. And then at one point, they're fighting on the outside, and Statlander gets, I guess you could say her foot gets caught in the guard. What are they? I don't even know what they call it. Like there's like the part of the ring that's got like the crossbar section. Her foot gets caught in it, and so she's kind of dangling there. Mercedes gets back in the ring, and the ref has to count. The ref's got to count. So the ref's 6, 7. Eventually, Statlander gets her a foot out of the boot, but she's kind of still laying there. Ref's at 8. Ref's at 9. Then they get a great shot here. The camera cuts to a shot of Mercedes, and the ref goes, 9. And Mercedes is like, yeah, I got it. And he's like, and then boom. Statlander slides in right next to Mercedes, and Mercedes just like, damn it. That was a really cool, the way that was shot and caught and captured was really good. So Mercedes at one point, they're fighting on the outside. No, hold on. I actually got this wrong. Okay, I was wrong. My bad. I was trying to do more off of memory than off of notes. The spot where the foot got caught was right after this. So Chris Statlander was just down till the 9 got in right at 9.5. Then they're fighting on the outside, and this is when her foot gets caught. She has to pull it out of the boot, takes a Meteora off the apron before raining down some punches from Mercedes. Statlander had, again, like I said, get the boot off, and she caught a diving Monet with an F5 on the apron. Back inside the ring, there was another F5 that connected, but Monet got her shoulder up just ever so slightly, and many in the building thought it was the 3. Statlander then tried climbing the ropes, but had her legs swept out by Monet in a scary looking spot where Monet hit a sit-out tombstone on the edge of the ring. Oh, boy. Monet then started celebrating the count out, but Statlander rolled back in. So he did that spot twice. Monet then screamed, "Why won't you die?" And she locked in the statement maker, which is her STF, basically. And I hate when the refs do this. And I do it more in AEW than WWE, but they do it in both companies. Where they're like, 1, 2, break the hold, 3, she's got the ropes, rope break, 4. And then instead of going 5, they literally go like this. And instead of counting 5, they go, break the hold, and they start grabbing her arm to like pull her off. And I'm like, you basically just counted 5. Say the 5 in disqualifier. Oh, wait, you don't want to? Then what the fuck are we doing here? Made the ref look kind of dumb because he's like, 1, 2, you got to break it, 3, let go of the hold, 4. And he comes down for the 5 and then just grabs her, break the hold. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, they get up and Statlander is a lariat. She wanted a Saturday Night's Fever, but when they escaped, both traded rolling pin attempts until Monet got a seatbelt pin with the leg trapped to get the victory. So there we go. Mercedes Monet does pick up the victory and retains the TBS Championship. A post-match, Monet seemingly gave a nod out of respect to Statlander before celebrating up the ramp. Then they let Statlander kind of like get a moment in the ring as well before she makes her way to the back. So, really good match. I like this match. Again, the first match was just a little better for me, and it may have been because storyline-wise, this one kind of had me like, why is Statlander getting the match? So, if I'm judging it on that as well, then it was just my interest of it was just a little because of that. But I just felt like, why is Statlander doing this? Eastwards Gaming Rules, the bit donation. He says, don't forget Omos got a shot for the GCH Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on New Year's Day 2025 in Noah with Noah's partnership with WWE. Yeah, no, we know about that. We haven't talked about that. It's not that I forgot. We ain't talking about anything WWE or Noah. Well, they're doing a whole series of things where they've been doing these videos of Omos almost being too tall to be in Japan. I don't know if you've seen the videos on social media, but it's like he was walking through these like this tunnel area, and like he'd walk and then he'd have to crouch down and walk to get under the tunnel, and then he'd go like this, and like 3 steps later he's got to be crouched back down. Or he tried to get into the subway or the train, wherever they call it there, and he's like all ducked down and everyone else just walking. And then there's one where there's that one area in Japan, Tokyo, I've never been, but you see it in all the movies and everything, where it's like the big crosswalks that X each other, right? And there's all the skyscrapers around them. Well, they got a shot from there, I believe it is, where it's like all these people walking, right? And then you see Omos up here just so much bigger than all of them. Except for like there's one guy that walks by Omos and is maybe only like an inch or two shorter than him. But it could be the perspective that makes him look that tall. But anyways, yeah. They've been doing some cool things with Omos in Japan. Anywho. Finals of the Continental Classic. Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. This match was really good. Especially the last about 3 minutes of this match were freaking phenomenal. Like, as great as Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher was as a whole, the last 3 to 4 minutes of this match was the best thing you'll see anywhere. Jim Ross actually joined commentary as well for the final 2 matches of the night. Okada teased his signature clean rope break deal, but instead popped Ospreay with the forearm as Ospreay answered back with some hard chops. Ospreay got his head all taped up from, the blood. Ospreay quickens the pace with a snap Hurricane Rana that sent Okada to the outside. He was met with a slingshot dive. Ospreay tried to jump from the barricade, but Okada avoided it and hit a DDT on the floor, followed by a draping version on the apron. Ospreay slowly rolled back into the ring, create a third DDT for a near fall. Okada starts toying with Ospreay before planting him with a neck breaker that caused Ospreay's bandage to come off. Ospreay tried throwing some chops, so Okada dug at the forehead. Drink coffee or 5-hour energy. For what? For what, Kevin? Curvin. Where was I? Ospreay then tried to throw some chops, but Okada got him into the forehead. Wanted another DDT, but Ospreay snapped off of a suplex. A handspring corkscrew kick connected for Ospreay as the crowd was on their feet, just going crazy. And Ospreay hit a Pip Cheerio and got a 2 off of it. Ospreay then charged, but Okada connected with a flapjack before placing Ospreay in the corner. Hit a drop kick and a knee wrench back for Ospreay, who crumbled to the outside. A weird looking spot. It's like Ospreay sitting on the top, and then he like falls, and then his like leg kind of gets hung up, but then you kind of see like he's trying to hook his leg to get hung up, and he can't or something like that. So then he like lets the leg release, and then he kind of falls, but then he like kind of tries to hook it again. I don't know. It looked a little weird. And then eventually he just falls, grabs the knee, and just like, I'm good. Okada went for a tombstone on the floor, but Ospreay hit a hook kick and an Os cutter off the barricade. Okada beat the count at 9, but rolled right into an Ospreay springboard dropkick and followed up with an Os cutter for a 2. Ospreay then fired off some Kawada kicks, but then when he went for a Stormbreaker, Okada countered it into an air raid crash neck breaker before hitting a top rope elbow. A Rainmaker flip off pose again here with a John Woo dropkick launched Ospreay into the corner. Ospreay then fought back with a running shooting star press, but Okada got his knees up and hit his signature dropkick for a 2. I think it was Jim Ross that goes, most people are going to ask the question, I've asked it before, how could a guy that size hit such a great dropkick like that? Him and Randy Orton, 2 of the best dropkicks in the biz. Okada then tried a leapfrog, but Ospreay put on the brakes and caught him into a Styles clash for a very close 2. Okada responded with an Emerald Flosion and a Rainmaker flush. Ospreay managed to kick out. Okada slowly took his time getting up, waiting for Ospreay to recover, ducking a wild shot and hitting a high-angled German suplex, wanting another Rainmaker, which Ospreay turned into a Spanish Fly for a 2. We also talked about how both guys were heavily influenced by, who was it? Ultimo Dragon. Early on in their careers. Ospreay then went for a hidden blade. Okada hit his drop kick, which Ospreay no-sold. Hit a hook kick. Tried another Os cutter, but got drop kicked in midair. Okada hit a Rainmaker, but Ospreay ducked and hit a Rainmaker of his own before hitting a Stormbreaker for the closest 2 of the match. Crowd's going bananas at this point. And it's like, when an Ospreay went for that hidden blade right before the drop kick, that's when everything just picks up wildly. Ospreay won a Tiger Driver, but Okada flipped out of it into a Rainmaker, and they both go down, but Okada remains holding that wrist. He wants another one. Ospreay fought back and hit another hook kick. Okada ducked the hidden blade, wanted a Rainmaker, and Ospreay flipped over. Tried the Stormbreaker, Okada escapes. He got the wrist and hit the Rainmaker to hit an incredible closing sequence and getting the victory. 1, 2, 3. Okada wins the Continental Classic, retains the Continental Championship, and there we go. Great match, especially again, like the last 3 to 4 minutes were just fantastic. Also, Curvin, the reason I keep wiping my eyes because I'm out of eye drops and I got really bad dry eyes. My eyes are actually bugging me. So actually, like, they're watering to the point where I've got like eye boogies that's kind of like crusting up my eye a little bit right now. So I'm sitting here going, okay, what kind of big grandiose celebration are we going to get here? We're going to get something where Okada streamers maybe, or something, celebrate champion, Continental Classic winner. No, not really. Instead, Okada gets overshadowed, unfortunately. Now, some may not see it that way, but that's how I saw it. Christopher Daniels comes out and he says, congratulations. At this point, you would think that I would grab this belt and bring it down and present it to you. But I can't. Because moving forward, I am no longer an EVP. But this man is. And the music of Kenny Omega plays. We hear that battle cry, and out comes the best bout machine, as Don Callis would call him, Kenny by God Omega. Kenny Omega comes out on the stage. Crowd is going nuts. He looks around, grabs the belt, brings it to Okada in the ring. The two get a little face-to-face. Not really like face-to-face, but they're standing there together. Okada raises the belt up. Kenny looks at him. Doesn't really say anything. And then leaves. Tony Schiavone questions, Omega's back. But is he back to wrestle or just as an executive? And I think it was Excalibur says, well, we know next week he will be wrestling in the Tokyo Dome against Gabe Kidd, so it may not be that long before we maybe see him back in an AEW ring. But I don't know when he's going to have his first match back in AEW. It ain't going to be next week. I don't think it's Monday, or Wednesday, the 1st, Fight for the Fallen, because he's got to go to Japan. Well, They could be there and then go. I don't know. I think if Kenny was going to wrestle on Wednesday, they would probably announce it. And maybe they have since we've been live. Let's go to AEW Twitter really fast to see if anything's been announced. But I think Kenny's first match back is the Gabe Kidd match. And then we go from there. Let's see. What is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Nothing. New Omega shirt, though. It's pretty dope. New Omega glitch shirt. But yeah, nothing for Omega announced for Dynamite. So yeah, his first match back is the Gabe Kidd match. Then we have our main event. This match, this fucking sucked. I'm going to say it right now. I did not like this at all. Post-match was cool, I guess. Got FTR and Copeland. But it's like, they kept doing the thing of, Christian's up there. He's got his contract. Is he going to cash it in? But then they also, oh, what's that over there? It's Hook. Hook's going to prevent him and stop him. Oh, why do we need all of that? Why did we need all of that? We already got the bullshit with the Death Riders getting involved. Then why do they take our attention over here and keep showing us Christian? And then all of a sudden, it's Hook. I don't know. I just felt like this was way overbooked and not needed to be like this. But remember, guys, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. So it's Jon Moxley defending against Orange Cassidy, Switchblade Jay White, Hangman Adam Page. Again, it was just there. Bell sounds, and immediately Page and White, they start bickering. Moxley's like, I'll let them go for it. Whatever they're going to do. He rolls the outside. Excuse me. Oh, hiccup. Cassidy's there, though, and he meets him with a kick. All three then take turns putting the boots to Moxley against the barricade until Claudio and Wheeler Yuta appear and try to help out Moxley. They all start brawling every which way, and commentary's like, it's a 4-way, so there's no disqualification. Heck, even if it was a 3-way, this will still all be allowed. Marina Shafir also shows up. She attacks Orange Cassidy in the crowd with Moxley. Security is able to kind of escort Claudio and Yuta away for the time being, because Yuta plays a factor into this later. Yuta literally just jumps onto a ref later. So, they're all fighting around. They eventually get back to ringside. Cassidy's at ringside and distracts Moxley with his hands in the pockets. This was dumb as shit, because Moxley's coming at Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy's just standing there, and he goes, wait, stop. And as he's doing this, Moxley starts walking slower and slower, and eventually stops. Moxley, why the fuck would you stop? And then he's just like, what's going on? Jay White and Hangman all of a sudden working together, and they grab Moxley. Orange Cassidy runs up, Orange Punch. They then grab Moxley, put him up on Hangman's shoulder, boom, triple power bomb, shield power bomb through the announce table. And I'm like, wait, why the hell are Jay White and Adam Hangman Page all of a sudden working together? What the fuck? No. So the truce is over here. Page attacks Cassidy and White, and it's a 3-way in the ring for a little bit. They show Christian and the Patriarchy watching from a suite, and then all of a sudden they go, wait, there's something else up there. What is that over there? And it's fucking Hook just staring over at Christian. Pissed off. And I'm like, why does this need to be part of the main event? Why the fuck? They don't even get me started later when the... We'll get to it. So Page hit a charging boot at White and Cassidy against the barricade and sent Cassidy crashing into the steps before trying a superplex back inside. But Cassidy fought back with a stun dog millionaire. White was in. Cassidy nearly hit another, but a White countered with a cutthroat suplex. It was a pop-up Hurricane Run on Page, who went to the outside. But Moxley appeared and sent White to the outside. Moxley bleeding from the back of his head all of a sudden. I wonder where that came from. Probably the power bomb hit something with the back of his head. I don't know. He was bleeding to the point where like it was running down his back. I'm like, it doesn't look that bad though. It doesn't look that bad. Especially it's Moxley. He doesn't give a shit. But Cassidy wound up for an orange punch. but ran into a Moxley cutter in midair. Like I said, the back of Moxley's head's bleeding at this point. I assume it's from the table bump. Page then, let me see, where do I go? Page, he and Page are like kind of back to back. They're going back and forth and stuff. White and Cassidy then try to come back in and fight them as well. There's a roll-up attempt until Moxley then levels White with a lariat until Cassidy hits a springboard, spinning DDT, and everything kind of resets. All four raises their feet until Cassidy just kind of collapses to the floor, leaving White, Page, and Moxley to slug it out in the ring. Everyone then hit their home run shot, leaving Cassidy alone with Moxley. He tried a spinning DDT, and Moxley counters, tries to go for the paradigm shift, and Orange counters and hits the beach break. Page then pulled the ref out from making the count, and they're like, yep, that's one way to do it. Just pull the referee away. There's no disqualification, so you can't get in trouble for it. It's one way to break up a pin attempt. So Cassidy is dropped with the buckshot lariat, and then another on White. Moxley wanted a pile driver, but Page hit a deadeye. Page wanted a third buckshot, but Yuta would return. Ran distraction briefly and unsuccessfully as Yuta did eat a boot. Page then hit a buckshot. There was no ref. Referee Paul Turner was then run down, but not in time to count the pin. Cassidy tried to roll up and got a 2 off of it, but then there was a low blow by Page. White then came back and hit multiple Blade Runners, but as he made the cover, Yuta would dive in right on the referee and push the referee basically out of the ring. Marina Shafir would appear in the ring. Jay White just runs, grabs her, boom, Blade Runner. The quickest, smoothest looking Blade Runner you've ever seen. He literally just runs in, grabs her, whoop-a-bah! Like, holy shit. So they're going mile a minute right now. Massive, massive pop from the crowd. And I think it was JR. Could have been Tony Schiavone. Someone goes, well, the crowd liked that one. Well, I think one person said, Marina Shafir just took a Blade Runner. And then someone else goes, yeah, and the crowd liked that one. Or something like that. I laughed so hard. Yuta then ran in and hit a Busaku knee on White as Moxley was up. The Death Rider, Castagnoli, threw in the original ref, Bryce Remsburg. Count the pin, 1, 2, 3. Moxley retains. Again, just too much bullshit for me. Too much bullshit for me. Post-match, Yuta launches Bryce to the outside. Death Rider stand tall over Jay White. They're about to take him out. We hear the music of FTR. So they walk out. They come out quarter way down the ramp. Lights go down. Lights come back on this day. I see clearly. And we got a logo that says rated FTR. Adam Copeland makes his way out on the stage. He meets his boys, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, on the ramp, where they all run down to the ring. FTR fight it out with Claudio and Yuta. There's a shatter machine on Yuta. They threw Claudio out of the ring. Copeland and Moxley start going at it before Moxley tries to go for a big old lariat, but Copeland gets under it, bounces off the ropes, spears Moxley. Christian is then shown in the suite, and then just disappears. I thought Christian was maybe going to kind of come down and get Moxley because, you know, Moxley's now been just laid out, but nope. I guess he just took off. Oh, crap. Adam's here. I ain't want nothing to do with this. Well, all that teasing of Christian, and then he just disappears. Like, this was so dumb. Didn't need that. Anyways. Copeland does his spot where he breaks the piece off the chair, puts it in the mouth, and does the crossface on Moxley. So it's like, this is the first person to really get the upper hand on a Moxley. Crowd's over here going, you deserve it. You deserve it. Before Claudio runs up and pulls Moxley out of the ring to safety. Copeland then grabs a mic and he's like, mic's not working. Nothing. Mic's not working. And then Moxley and Claudio and them, they jump the barricade. He gets another mic. He goes, hey, Moxley, look at me when I'm talking to you, kid. And one of the commentary guys, I can't remember exactly who, go, oh, he's serious calling him kid. He said, we're here. We don't want your bullshit, basically. And we're coming for you. So we want everything that you've got. He said, fight for the fallen. We want you in Asheville. Commentary then confirms that match will be happening this Wednesday, January 1st on the mother of all simulcast. So it will be Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli against Adam Copeland, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. Fight for the Fallen Dynamite, January 1st on TBS and Max in Asheville, North Carolina. Then they just start stalling for time and stalling for time and stalling for time. And you see Moxley walking this way and FTR and Copeland in the ring just looking around going. And then eventually they go, we'll see you on a Wednesday. The mother of all simulcasts. Dynamite. They finally go off the air. So overall, it was a really good show. Kind of great. There's a lot of things that I thought the matches delivered, but getting to the matches and the storylines had me not interested. The match, again, just about every match delivered and was good to great, but there are a lot of things on this show that it's just going into it didn't have my interest because of the storylines and the build and how they were put together. But with that, guys, let's get the poll going here on Twitch really quickly. I got something on my microphone that's shining into my eyes like a piece of glitter or something. Anyways, new poll. What did the Worlds End? Liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. If you're watching on Twitch, go vote now and we'll check the other polls. So as far as the Threads poll does go, 52% liked the show. Ooh, that's low. 52% liked the show. 38% thought it was just all right. And 10% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll. Oh, 44% liked the show. 34% didn't like the show. And 20% thought it was just all right. Dang. Way less people liking it than I expected. As far as the YouTube community poll does go, 64% liked the show. 22% thought it was just all right. And 14% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, basically the same. Yep. 64, 24, 11. So 64% liked it. 24% thought it was just all right. And 11% didn't like it. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so. I'm still seeing the numbers shifting here on Twitch. Looks like it might end. Give it 10 seconds. 9, 5, 4, 3, 2. 60% liked the show. 40% thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back on Monday for Monday Night Raw, the final Monday Night Raw on USA Network. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.